What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Friday, August 15th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think is the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with the injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, had a pretty short slate there on Thursday, but we came out well ahead. Got off to a great start there with the under there in that Seattle-Baltimore game. A 5-3 win there for the Orioles behind another good start from Zagano. Their bullpen didn't hold up amazingly well, but their offense didn't go nuts either, and the under comes through for us relatively comfortably in that game. We followed that up with a nice win there on Toronto at -110. A very close 2-1 win for the Blue Jays behind a vintage Scherzer start where he went 7 innings, gave up only a single run. Boyd was excellent for the Cubs, and both bullpens were lights out, but that 2-run home run there from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was enough to get the Blue Jays and us the win. So another win right there, and we followed it up a third straight win with Arizona at -175. An expensive price. I guess we should have just been brave enough to take them -1.5 because they get a comfortable 8-2 win behind a great start there from Rodriguez and plenty of offense. Blaylock was awful for the Rockies as usual, and the Diamondbacks continue to take advantage of the bad teams. We had our lone loss of the day there on our dog of the day. We had the Marlins at +110, a tough 9-4 loss there. Cabrera getting shelled over his 5 1/3 innings, not the norm for him. The Marlins bullpen looking like a disaster. There weren't many underdogs that looked good there on that short slate on Thursday, and yeah, despite the Guardians getting a bad start there from Bybee, they still come away with a win. So that was annoying, but we did cash our massive lock of the day. The Tigers at -205. Skubal actually not amazing in that game over his 7 innings, giving up 3 earned runs, but the bullpen managed to hold up even if it wasn't that pretty, and the Twins couldn't come up with the extra inning win at home. So a 4-3 win for us. We'll take it in Skubal. I guess we continue to trust. So a 3-1 day or a 4-1 day overall. Not too shabby, guys. Not nearly as good as what we saw over there on the premium MLB side, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Right now, we got to dive in. We've got a full slate to cover here on a very busy Friday. And first up, we've got the lone day game of the day. We've got the Pittsburgh Pirates headed to Wrigley Field to take on the Cubs. Annoyingly enough, guys, we don't have a confirmed starter here for the Pirates on this game. We see them coming into this one 51-71 on the year. They've lost, what is it up to now? 5 in a row, getting swept there by the Brewers, so not a great look. Don't know who they're going to start in this game. If it ends up being a bullpen start, the Pirates bullpen has had a really rough time down the stretch, a big part of why they're 51-71 on the year, a 4.23 bullpen ERA. The offense, 5-0-1, 8-1-3 over their last few. Obviously, this team has not been great at the plate this season. They're last in the majors in runs scored. They're also last in slugging percentage. So we'll see what they can do here against the Cubs, who at 68-52 on the year are now 8 games back in the NL Central. What the Brewers have managed to do out there in the NL Central has been pretty special stuff. We'll see if they can keep it rolling, down the stretch here. We'll see. Now, the Cubs are easily atop the National League wildcard hunt, 4.5 games up on the Mets and on the Reds. So yeah, they're in good shape there in the wild card. They'll hand the ball to Colin Ray in this game. He's 9-5 this season, a 4.09 ERA. His last start, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run allowed there against the Cardinals in a 9-1 win. So all very good news there for Colin Ray and the Cubs in terms of his history against the Pirates. Last time he faced them was mid-June, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs in a 3-2 extra inning win. He also faced them in early May, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs in an 8-3 comfortable win. So we'll see if they get something similar here from Colin Ray, see if their bullpen continue to hold up, although it has been a little bit shaky recently. A 3.82 bullpen ERA, not what the Cubs are necessarily used to this season. The offense for Chicago, 1-4-1, 2-9-0 over their last few games, has not been looking great down the stretch. They're 5th in runs scored and 9th in batting average still, but they certainly come into this series swinging some pretty cold bats. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Pirates with no confirmed starter are +170. The Cubs are -205. A total of 9 in this game. The Pirates are 17-42 on the road, 34-23-2 to the under on the road. The Cubs are 36-20 at home, 26-26-4 to the over-under at home. I'm not interested in the total in this game, guys, and I'll definitely lean towards the Cubs at -205 or -1.5. But the reason that none of this will make the pin comment is partially because we don't have a confirmed starter for the Pirates, but majorly because of how cold the Chicago Cubs bats have been here as of late. Next on the docket, we've got the Milwaukee Brewers headed to Cincinnati to take on the Reds. Now, the Brewers at 76-44 on the year have to be pumped. They're 8 games up on the Cubs there in the NL Central. They've got a 12-game winning streak going. They'll hand the ball in this one to someone. We don't have a confirmed starter right now, though, so that's pretty annoying. we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that they end up with a confirmed starter here pretty soon, and there are no numbers out for this game either. A game that I would be very interested in, probably depending on the numbers. So we'll see if they give the start to. Obviously, their bullpen has not been lights out this season, a 3.89 bullpen ERA, but their rotation has looked pretty good. So we got to kind of wait and see what's going to happen with the Brewers pitching staff in this game. The offense obviously comes into this one swinging some of the hottest bats in the business. 12, 4, 7, 7, 7, 3, and 5 over their last few games. Hitting the ball really, really well. So we'll see if that continues here. Going up against the Cincinnati Reds, who at 64 and 58 on the season, have to feel pretty great about Green going out there and putting up 6 shutout innings in his return, and they got the 8-0 win. They won 2 out of 3 there against the Phillies. They are 13 games back in the NL Central, but right now, at time of recording, this Reds team is only a half game back of the New York Mets in that National League wildcard hunt. So very impressive stuff there from the Reds. They're going to hand the ball to Nick Martinez in this game. He's 10-9 on the season, a 4.49 ERA. His last start, he absolutely dominated the Pirates. His outing before that was a bullpen appearance there against the Cubs, and he got shelled. So that wasn't great. We'll see what he looks like here against a team, like Milwaukee, who's swinging some of the hottest bats in the majors right now. He hasn't faced the Brewers since back in April, and we're not going to take that too much in consideration. He's been throwing the ball all right, but not amazing. And that Reds bullpen, it's been all right, but not amazing as well. The offense, obviously coming off a nice 8-run game, 8, 6, 1, 14, 2, and 2 over their last few. This team is just inconsistent at the plate. They're 16th in batting average, but 10th in runs scored. We'll see what they can do in this one. We got to really know who the Brewers are going to start. Obviously, this is a wait-and-see spot with no numbers posted here at time of recording. Next up, guys, we've got the Philadelphia Phillies headed to Washington to take on the Nationals. Now, the Phillies, 69 and 52 on the year. They've lost 3 straight games, including Game 1 of this series where they lost 3-2. The Phillies are getting pretty lucky that the Mets are just falling apart down the stretch because the Phillies aren't playing great either. They've now lost 3 straight, like I was saying. They will try to bounce back here by handing the ball to Zach Wheeler, who's 10-5 on the season, a 2.68 ERA. His last start, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, and a 4-2 win against the Rangers. That's pretty good, but I haven't seen like a truly dominant start from Wheeler here in quite some time. So I'm a little bit worried about him. We'll see what he can do here against the Nationals. Shouldn't be the scariest team to face. He did have a little bit of trouble against them back in late April, though. Obviously, that's very long ago. So we'll see what Wheeler does here. The Phillies bullpen is always a huge concern and one of the main reasons I will not be taking them very seriously once the playoffs come around. The offense has also been pretty all over the place. I mean, 2, 0, and 1 runs over their last 3 games. Not really acceptable, in my opinion. You can't be that inconsistent if you want to be considered one of the top teams in the majors. They're 9th in runs scored, 6th in batting average, 7th in on-base percentage, but really, how hyped am I supposed to get about the Phillies right now? Like, even Wheeler, their ace pitcher, isn't looking that great. So I have a lot of concerns about the Phillies right now as they head into Game 2 here against the Nationals, who are 49 and 72 on the year. They're going to hand the ball to Mackenzie Gore, who's 5 and 12 this year, a 4.09 ERA. His last start was one of his best of the year. 6 innings, no runs allowed, 3 hits, 10 strikeouts and 1 walk, and an 8-0 win against the Giants. We'll see if he can bottle a little bit of that up and use it in this game. He had not been throwing the ball great coming into that one. In terms of history against the Phillies, he faced them back in late April and was not great. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, and a 7-6 loss. So we'll see what he does in this matchup. Obviously, the Nationals bullpen, even worse than the Phillies. Actually, worst in the entire major leagues. The offense, 3-8-5, 4-8, and 4 over their last few games. This isn't a pushover team at the plate necessarily, but 19th in runs scored, 18th in batting average doesn't exactly fill me with tons of optimism. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Phillies are minus 175, the Nationals are plus 145, a total of 8 out there. The Phillies are 32 and 31 on the road, 39, 21, and 3 to the under on the road. The Nationals are 23 and 36 at home, 31, 27, and 1 to the over at home. I'm going to lean towards the Phillies here pretty aggressively with Zach Wheeler on the mound at a price, better than 2-1. I definitely think minus 175 is a little expensive for a Phillies team that's swinging the bats so poorly right now, but the Nationals are nothing special, and those Phillies bats have to heat back up at some point. That could happen here against Mackenzie Gore. Hey guys, hopping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB and UFC picks with NFL preseason mixed in there and NFL and college football regular seasons right around the corner. There's actually already some NFL Week 1 regular season picks posted over there in the premium section. So definitely get over there, check that out. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last several years in a row and has had a great 2025 season so far. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there. So picks you won't see in these videos. There'll be a pick and a write-up that is not in these videos every single day. They're over at StumpTheSpread.com. And guys, our free use bet size calculator, which I hope many of you are utilizing. And it's the exact and only place you can find our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not always match what you see here in the videos, as I'm not the premium MLB handicapper over there at Stump The Spread. We have a monster with many, many more years of experience covering MLB, and he's coming off once again an undefeated day. Very, very solid stuff. A little bit of a bounce back. Had a rough 13th there, but the 14th, 3-0, cashed the Guardians as a one-unit play, cashed the Nationals as big underdogs as a one-unit play. Very, very sharp stuff there to see them beating the Phillies 3-2. And he had the Tigers as a two-unit play. That was a squeaker, but a win is a win there in the end. So very, very good stuff there on August 14th. Hopefully he can run it back another big undefeated day. Would feel pretty good for those premium members, guys. Very, very good stuff over there at Stump The Spread. Definitely encourage you to get over there and check that out. Also, go to stumpthespread.com to get on our free email list. It's great information straight to your inbox every single day. There'll be at least one free pick included in those emails. Often, guys, there will be 2 free picks, WNBA, MLB, NFL, all candidates to be those free picks. And it's great information besides that, too, information on niche sports betting, like big breakdowns of UFC events, golf events, NASCAR events even. Like, it is a treasure trove of information every single day. And all you have to do, click the link in the description, go over there to stumpthespread.com, and get on the free email list by setting up a free account. All they need is your name and your email address. That's it. And you'll be getting one email straight to your inbox or your spam folder. Check your spam folder if you're not getting the emails, but every single day. So definitely check that out, guys. And if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, click the little join button right below the video to become a YouTube channel member. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every video, and more importantly, they get access to our members only giveaways. We'll be doing another members only giveaway here on the 14th. So if you're a YouTube channel member, your name will be put on this big old wheel. It'll be on the screen. You'll see it in live, real time, me rolling that wheel and seeing who's going to be the lucky winner of a Stump The Spread hoodie straight to their mailbox. So definitely check that out. We're doing those giveaways every single week. Guys, we got to hop back in though. We've got a huge slate to finish covering here. And next up, we're going to be looking at the Texas Rangers headed to Toronto to take on the Blue Jays. The Rangers come into this game 61-61 on the year. They just lost 2 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks after losing 4 straight. It's getting pretty bleak there for Texas. Now, they are still only 3.5 games back, so they're not out of it, but they're going to need to play a lot better. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Jacob deGrom, who's 10-5 this year, a 2.86 ERA. He'd been looking lights out there for a bit. However, his last 3 starts, it's looked a little bit more sketchy. 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs against the Angels. 5 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs against Seattle. 6 2/3 innings, 6 hits, and 3 earned runs against the Phillies. All of those games were losses there for the Rangers. So we'll see if he can bounce back, but doing that against the Toronto Blue Jays is a pretty big ask. The last time he faced Toronto, he was really good, but that was back in late May. So we'll see which version of Jacob deGrom we get in this one. The Rangers bullpen's been really good, but some major hiccups have cost us some money here down the stretch. The offense also has been pretty mediocre for this team over the course of the year. They did do some things to try and improve it, but 4-2-7, 2-2 and 1 over their last 6 games. Yeah, pretty big reason that they're only 1-5 or 1-6 over that spread. Pretty bad stuff there at the plate. So we'll see what they can do here against the Toronto Blue Jays, who at 71-51 on the year have a 5-game cushion there in the AL East. They just won 2 out of 3 against the Cubs. Slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing them, winning 2-1 there yesterday. They'll hand the ball in this game to Chris Bassett. He's 11-6 on the year, a 4.17 ERA. His last start, 4 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs allowed there, and a 9-1 loss against the Dodgers. But his start before that, he was lights out against the Royals. I do worry about him a little bit down the stretch of the season, but going up against the Rangers should not be the scariest thing. That being said, he hasn't faced them yet this year, so we'll see what Bassett can do. The bullpen for Toronto has not been elite, a 4.05 bullpen ERA. Definitely an area they're hoping will improve before the playoffs roll around because they could use much better numbers out there. But the offense, I know they only scored 2, 1, and 5 runs in that series against the Cubs, but over the course of the year, they're the top batting average team in the majors. They're the top on-base percentage team in the majors, and they're 7th in runs scored. This team is figuring it out. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hitting the ball pretty well right now. Like, a lot to like for the Toronto Blue Jays at the plate. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Rangers are -120, the Blue Jays are +100, a total of 7.5. The Rangers are 24-35 on the road, 29-29 and 1 to the over-under on the road. Toronto is 40-20 at home this season, 34-24 and 2 to the over at home. I think over is possible in this game. Over 7.5. It doesn't seem like a terrible spot. In terms of a side, though, I think I like the home team better. DeGrom just hasn't looked like himself here recently. Bassett hasn't been amazing, but those Rangers bats are ice cold right now. So I definitely think the Blue Jays at plus 100 at home is a pretty solid spot. Cruising through these games, we're looking at the Atlanta Braves headed to Cleveland to take on the Guardians. The Braves come into this game winners of 2 out of 3 there against the Mets, now at 53 and 68 this season. They're not headed anywhere important, but this team is still keeping their heads down, still playing hard on a nightly basis. So got to give them credit for that for sure. They're going to hit the ball in this one to Hurston Waldrep. This young 23-year-old comes into this game 2-0 on the season, a 1.54 ERA. He's made 2 starts back on the 2nd and then on the 9th. And both were very good. Very good outing there against the Reds. 5 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run there against Miami. Both of those games were wins for the Atlanta Braves. So I'm expecting Waldrop to go out there and be excellent. The bullpen for Atlanta, a 3.99 bullpen ERA, does not get me super jazzed up. That has not been a strength of this team, and neither has their offense. But 4-11, 5-7, 8, and 7 over their last few games is very hot hitting for this team. They're only 19th in the majors in runs scored and 20th in batting average, so it hasn't been anything special at the plate in general this season, but they've been hitting the ball pretty well down the stretch. So definitely something to keep an eye on here. They're taking on the Guardians, who come into this game fresh off winning 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. The Guardians are 6 games above 500 and find themselves only a half game back of the Yankees for the last wild card spot there in the American League. So still, in the mix for sure. They'll hit the ball in this game to Joey Cantillo. He's sporting a 4.11 ERA. His last time on the mound, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run given up against the White Sox, and was eventually a 3-1 win. Over his last 5 starts, and it has been against the best teams, he has not necessarily been amazing. We'll see what he can do in this exact matchup here, taking on the Braves. Has he faced Atlanta this season? It does not appear he's faced Atlanta yet this year, so we'll see how that goes. Obviously, the Cleveland bullpen's been very reasonable. A 3.58 bullpen ERA is 6th best in the majors right now, and the offense hitting the ball okay. 9-4-4. 4-3 and 9 over their last few games is pretty solid at the plate for a team that's 26th in the majors in runs scored, last in the majors in batting average, and 27th in on-base percentage. Hasn't really been an easy year for the Guardians at the plate necessarily, but it seems like they're maybe starting to figure things out. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Braves are plus 100. The Guardians are minus 125. We've got a total of 9 in this game. Atlanta's 22 and 38 on the road, 30, 26, and 4 to the over on the road. Cleveland's 31 and 28 at home, 30, 28, and 1 to the over at home. Despite the trends towards the over here, I actually think under 9 is a pretty good value in this game. I also wouldn't necessarily despise no runs in the first inning, but I don't love that necessarily. In terms of a side, I'm backing the young phenom here, Hurston Waldrep. Give me the Braves. Give me the Braves at plus 100. I don't think that's too crazy of a spot. I think they can come away with a win here. Cantillo isn't looking that special to me, so I think the Braves could definitely sneak a win in this one. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Miami Marlins headed to Fenway to take on the Red Sox. Now, the Marlins at 58 and 63 on the year haven't been having the best time down the stretch. They're now 5 games below 500 and have pretty effectively played themselves out of it. 6 games out of the National League wildcard hunt. They're going to hit the ball in this one to Sandy Alcantara. He's 6 and 11 on the year, a 6.55 ERA. His last couple starts have been terrible, really struggling against the Astros and the Atlanta Braves. So we'll see if he can get back on the horse. He did have a solid stretch there for a little bit, but it's looked pretty rough here recently. In terms of history against the Red Sox, obviously he doesn't have any this season, but not super high on him. Definitely not super high on that Marlins bullpen. A 4.16 bullpen ERA leaves an awful lot to be desired. 4, 13, 3, 1, and 6 runs over their last few. Definitely not the coldest we've seen these bats, that's for sure, but 18th in the majors in runs scored and 18th in slugging percentage. Kind of paints a picture of a subpar offense. So we'll see what they do here at Fenway, taking on the Red Sox, who haven't been having the best time themselves. They've actually lost 4 out of their last 5 games. They'll hand the ball in this one to Lucas Giolito, who is 8 and 2 this season, a 3.77 ERA. His last start, though, not very good. At the Padres, 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, and 4 earned runs, and a 5-4 loss. Not the best look. He has thrown the ball pretty well. He had a great 8-inning start there against Houston, the start before that terrible start against the Padres. So maybe he was dealing with some arm fatigue. I would not be shocked by that at all. Definitely something I like to keep an eye on. So we'll see what he looks like here against the Marlins. Obviously no history there for him, but I think Giolito is going to go out there and be pretty good. Obviously the Red Sox bullpen's been one of the best bullpens in the majors this season, so we're not too worried about that. The offense, 1, 14, 6, 2, and 4 over this, rough streak they've been having. They are third in the majors, though, in runs scored, fifth in batting average. I'm not too worried about the Red Sox at the plate. I think they're going to figure things out pretty quickly in this matchup. And looking at the numbers for this matchup, the Marlins are plus 140. The Red Sox are minus 165. Got a total of 9 in this one. The Marlins are 30 and 32 on the road, 31, 29, and 2 to the over on the road. Boston is a very solid 39 and 22 at home. They're also 32, 27, and 2 to the under at home. I'm not too interested in the total, guys, but I will definitely take the Red Sox in this matchup. I would maybe take them minus 1.5 if they've been playing a little bit better here recently. Given what they've done, in the very immediate past, I'm probably not going to get greedy. I'll just take them straight up to win this game, but I do think they're live to have a blowout win against Alcantara and the Marlins. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Seattle Mariners headed to New York to take on the Mets. The Mariners come into this game fresh off a very disappointing series there against Baltimore, losing 2 out of 3. They're now a game and a half back in the very competitive AL West. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Luis Castillo. He comes into this game 8-6 on the season, a 3.19 ERA. His last start, very, very good. Honestly, his last 3 outings, all excellent. We'll see what he can do here against the Mets after dominating Tampa Bay Rays his last time on the mound. He doesn't have any history against the Mets, so we don't have anything to lean on there, but I'm expecting him to go out there and have a very solid outing. Obviously, the Mariners bullpen has not been a big point of interest or a big concern this year. A 3.64 bullpen ERA, clearly excellent stuff there. The offense, though, is tailing off a bit. 3-3-1, 6-7, and 3 over their last several games. They're still 11th in the majors in runs scored. They're still 12th in slugging percentage. Cal Raleighy's still out there doing his thing with 45 home runs now, but as a team, they're just not really hitting the ball all that well. So we'll see what they do here in New York, taking on the Mets, who are 64 and 57 on the year and straight up not having a good time. What is it up to now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've lost 9 out of their last 10 games. Brutal look there for the Mets. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Sean Manaea. He's 1-1 on the year, a 4.33 ERA. His last couple of starts, though, after getting off to a great start to his season very late in the year, struggling mightily against the Brewers and really not looking good at all there against the Guardians. So we'll see if he can bounce back here, but feels like a bit of a big ask. I don't believe he has no history here against the Mariners this season. His year has not been going on very long regardless. So definitely worried about him, worried about the Mets bullpen a little bit, not a lot. A 3.77 bullpen ERA, not the end of the world, but their bats, oh my God. This team has been so underwhelming at the plate this season. I mean, 15th in the majors in runs scored and 21st in batting average from a team with these kind of names on the batting order. That's a pretty big yikes for me. 3, 6, 13, 7, 4, and 2 over their last few games. Not swinging the hottest bats. So looking at the numbers for this one, guys, the Mariners are plus 100. The Mets are minus 120. Got a total of 8.5 out there. The Mariners are 30 and 30 on the road, 32, 27, and 1 to the over on the road. The Mets are 39 and 23 at home, 30, 29, and 3 to the under at home. Given what I've seen recently from Manaea and what I've seen recently from Castillo, I'm taking the Mariners at plus 100, and I think it's a pretty reasonable spot. Neither team's bats have been great, so you maybe could think about under 8.5, but I think the better side in this one is just go ahead and take the Mariners here against these slumping New York Mets. Rolling right along here, guys, we've got the Baltimore Orioles headed to Houston to take on the Astros. The Orioles come into this game fresh off a 5-3 win there against the Mariners. They've actually won their last 2 in a row, and I guess 4 out of their last 7 isn't too bad for Baltimore. Not having the best year. They'll hand the ball in this game to Brandon Young. He's 0-6 on the season, a 6.70 ERA. His last time on the mound, he got absolutely dismantled by the Athletics. He did have a mediocre start, I guess, against the Cubs, but really, it's been pretty brutal stuff from him in most starts. I guess he had a good start against Toronto, but it has not looked great out there for Brandon Young. Definitely in need of something of a bounce back. The Orioles bullpen does have its moments, but a 4.76 bullpen ERA, one of the worst bullpens in all of Major League Baseball right now, so that's not the best look. The offense, 5-4-0, 2-3, and 3. Gone is the offense of last year. It's been brutal to watch the fall off. They're 21st in runs scored, 22nd in batting average, 15th in slugging percentage after being one of the most dangerous and fun to watch offenses in the majors a season ago. So we'll see what they do here against the Astros, who have won 3 out of their last 4 to get that 1.5 game lead out there over the Mariners and the Rangers. This has been a tough season for the Astros. Obviously, good to win 2 out of 3 there against the Red Sox. They'll hand the ball in this one to Framber Valdez, who's 11-5 on the season, a 2.97 ERA. His last couple of starts, though, not the hottest. Struggled against the Yankees, struggled against the Red Sox. Now he gets a chance to right the ship against the Baltimore Orioles. Should be a lot easier pickings, I would think, but just hasn't been looking like himself recently. Will he snap back? in this game? It's definitely possible. Obviously, the Astros bullpen's right there to pick him up if he falls down. 5th best in the majors, a 3.54 bullpen ERA. The offense for this team has always been the bigger question mark. 4-1, 7-7, 4, and 5 runs over their last few games. Not too bad to be 3rd in the majors in batting average and 9th in on-base percentage, but when you're 17th in runs scored, you can start to have some problems. So we'll see if they can come up with some run support here for Valdez. Looking at the numbers, the Orioles are plus 195, the Astros are minus 235. Got a total of 8 in this game. Baltimore's 25 and 36 on the road, 39, 20, and 2 to the under on the road. That's actually an MLB best to the under. Houston's 37 and 25 at home, 33, 27, and 2 to the under at home. I really like the Astros in this spot. Do I like them enough to make them my lock of the day? I would say they've got a chance. Valdez is due to bounce back here at some point, and bouncing back against the Orioles is a very good spot, so definitely think the Astros here are worth a good long look. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago White Sox headed to Kansas City to take on the Royals. The White Sox come to this game fresh off a tough 1-0 loss there against the Tigers. They've been having a pretty tough year at 44 and 77 overall. They'll hand the ball to Aaron Savale in this game. He's 3-7 this season, a 4.91 ERA. His last time out, one of his worst starts of the year, getting absolutely obliterated there by the Guardians. That being said, his 3 starts before that were all very, very good. So we'll see if he can, shift gears, get back into, how he wants to be throwing the ball here. In terms of history against the Royals, he hasn't faced them this year, so we don't have any information there. But Savale definitely going to be better than he was his last time out. But will he be great? We'll have to wait and see. The White Sox bullpen, a 3.75 bullpen ERA, drastically better than I would have ever expected them to be this year, so kudos on that. The offense, though, coming off getting shut out 1-0, probably feels bad. They haven't been swinging the hottest bats lately in this season. They're 29th in batting average, 29th in slugging percentage, and 29th in on-base percentage. Pretty clearly the second worst team in the majors at the plate. So we'll see what they do here on the road, taking on the Royals, who just won 2 out of 3 against the Nationals, but at 60 and 61 on the year, they've got a lot of work to do, guys. They are 4 games back of the Yankees in the American League wildcard race. So we'll see how it goes. They got work to do, though. We'll see. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Noah Cameron. He is currently 6-5 on the year, a 2.51 or 2.52 ERA. His last start, very good stuff. 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, no runs allowed, and a 2-0 win there against the Minnesota Twins. This guy's been kind of alternating good and bad starts, which is concerning because this would mean he was due for a bad one. But he's going up against the White Sox, so maybe he's got a chance to buck that trend. He hasn't faced the White Sox this year, though, so we don't know how that's going to go. The Royals' bullpen's been solid this season. No major complaints from a 3.78 bullpen ERA. That's definitely been better most of the season than that number they were hanging right now. The offense actually coming alive a little bit. 7, 8, 7, 3, and 2 over their last few games. Definitely hitting the ball better than they have this season where they're 28th in the majors in runs scored and 23rd in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers for this game, the White Sox are plus 155. The Royals are minus 190. Got a total of 9 out there. The White Sox are 18 and 41 on the road, 34, 22, and 3 to the under on the road. The Royals are 30 and 29 at home, 34, 24, and 1 to the under at home. I actually think this is not an unreasonable spot to take under 9. I doubt we'll see a crazy amount of offense in this game. Neither starter is knock your socks off good, but they're both decent, and neither one of these teams is very good at the plate. So under 9 is very, very live, and I also like the Royals to win this game, but minus 190, even with Noah Cameron on the mound, seems a bit rich. Rolling through these games, we're looking at the Detroit Tigers headed to Minnesota to take on the Twins. Now, unfortunately, we have no confirmed numbers for this game at time of recording, which we're not recording early. I don't know what's going on, why these numbers aren't coming out but at an earlier timing, but we'll see what happens here. Obviously, the Tigers come through as our lock of the day there yesterday, so slam that thumbs up button. It was a lot closer and scarier than we wanted it to be. They'll hand the ball to Charlie Morton in this game. He is 7 and 10 on the year, a 5.48 ERA since coming over there from Baltimore. It's been one great start, one terrible start. Really struggled against the Angels his last time out, but his first start there in his new uniform dominated the Phillies. So we'll see which version we get of him here going up against the Twins this season. I would feel he faced Minnesota early in the season, but I believe it was a bullpen outing, 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run allowed. So we'll see if he does a little bit better here against the Twins in a full start. I'm not super thrilled about Uncle Charlie on the mound in this one. The Tigers' bullpen's been a huge problem for them down the stretch this year, a 4.11 bullpen ERA. Not what they had in mind this year. And the offense, 4, 1, 6, 2, 9, and 4 over their last few. Not swinging the hottest bats, and it's starting to look like a real, genuine problem. I would say the last 30 or 40 games, this team has not been swinging the hottest bats. So we'll see what they do here in Minnesota, taking on the Twins, who at 57 and 64 on the year aren't looking great. They've lost 3 out of their last 4 games. Things are kind of starting to fall apart. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jose Urena. He comes into this game 4.97 ERA. His last couple of times on the mound, both starts, both okay, but not great. Both were in wins, a win against Cleveland and a win against the Royals, but 4 innings and 3 innings respectively, and gave up runs in each of those. Doesn't exactly bode well for this outing. Also, once he gets in trouble, the Twins bullpen's been terrible. A 4.33 bullpen ERA is not great, and the offense hasn't been drastically better either. 3, 4, 1, 2, 5, and 0 runs over their last few. They're 23rd in the majors in runs scored. They are 20th in on-base percentage. This team really struggles to get it done at the plate on a night-to-night basis. So we'll see what they do in this one. Unfortunately, no numbers for this game, but the trends are Detroit 3 games above 500 on the road, and a significant over team on the road. Actually, the best over team on the road in the majors. Minnesota's 32-25 at home this year, 29-26-2 to the under at home. So we'll see. Definitely check the pinned comment. There's a couple games without numbers out that I'm interested in today. Next on the docket, we're looking at the New York Yankees headed to St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. The Yankees just won 2 out of 3 there against the Twins, but not maybe what they would have hoped for. The Yankees having a rough time, looking like they're definitely going to be pointed at a wild card berth, and they're currently only a half game up on the Cleveland Guardians for that last wild card spot. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Handing the ball to Luis Gil. He's 0-1 on the year, a 7.27 ERA. He's made 2 starts this year, back on the 3rd and then on the 9th. I mean, not a great start there on the 3rd, getting shelled by the Marlins, and not an amazing start there on the 9th, although he looked a lot better. 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, and 2 earned runs against the Astros in a 5-4 win does make it look a little bit better. So we'll see which version of Luis Gil we get in this game. The Yankees bullpen has not been good. A 4.25 bullpen ERA has been a huge problem, a huge part of the reason they've struggled this year, especially down the stretch. The offense, 1-9-6-1-5-3-3. Over their last few games. That's not terrible, but is that what the Yankees were designed to be when the season started? Like, they're 4th in the majors in runs scored, but they're all the way down to 15th in batting average. They're still 1st in slugging percentage, so I'm not going to say too many negative things about the Yankees at the plate, but they're not looking like that scary of a team. So we'll see what they do here in St. Louis, taking on the Cardinals, who just managed to lose 2 out of 3 to the Colorado Rockies. And it is do or die time for the St. Louis Cardinals. They're currently, 3.5 games back in the National League wildcard hunt. They would have to overtake both the Reds and the Mets. Seems like a tall order. So we'll see what they can do, handing the ball to Andre Pallante in this one. He's 6-9, a 4.95 ERA. This young guy, after getting off to a good start, he's been very up and down. He had 2 good starts before getting just absolutely destroyed there by the Cubs his last time on the mound. Also, the Cardinals only 1-4 over his last 5 starts. So we'll see what he can do. I'm certainly not expecting miracles from him here against the Yankees. The Cardinals bullpen has actually been a pretty bright spot this year, a 3.60 bullpen ERA. No problems there. The offense, though, has fallen off a cliff here in the later part of the season. I mean, 5, 0, and 3 runs respectively in a 3-game series against the Rockies is embarrassing stuff. They're 16th in runs scored. They're 24th in slugging percentage. This is just not a very good team. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Yankees are -130. The Cardinals are +110. We've got a total of 9 in this one. The Yankees are actually pretty bad on the road. 27-32 on the road. 29-27-3 to the over on the road. The Cardinals, 35-27 at home. 31-27-4 to the over at home. This kind of feels like a spot the Cardinals will just bounce back in somehow magically, but with Pallante on the mound, not looking great. Luis Gil, I have, looking really drastically improved in his second start. Maybe he continues that in his third start, going up against the weaker hitting Cardinals. I definitely lean towards the Yankees here at -130. Pretty significantly. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Arizona Diamondbacks headed to Colorado to take on the Rockies. The Diamondbacks at 60-62 on the year, despite being sellers at the trade deadline, are only 4.5 games out of the National League wildcard spot. They'll hand the ball in this game to Brandon Pfaadt, who's 12-7 on the year, a 5.03 ERA. His last start, just typical Brandon Pfaadt stuff. 5 innings pitched, 11 hits allowed, but only 3 runs surrendered in a 13-6 win. So yeah, just crazy stuff. The dude goes out there and is mediocre, but still finds a way to be on the right side of these results. We'll see what he looks like here going up against the Rockies again. Obviously, back-to-back starts against Colorado, but I'm expecting him to be probably a little bit better in this one, despite the fact he's pitching on the road. The Diamondbacks bullpen, obviously atrocious, one of the worst in the majors, although showing signs of improvement here down the stretch. The offense, 8-6-3, 6-13, 6-6 over their last few games. Despite selling off some of their best bats at the trade deadline, this team is still hitting it. So they're 6th in the majors in runs scored still, 12th in batting average, and 2nd in slugging percentage. I'm not too worried about this team at the plate. It seems like they know how to get the job done. So We'll see what they do here against the Rockies, who at 32 and 89 in the year are historically bad. They will hand the ball in this game to Tanner Gordon. He's 2-5 this season, an 8.37 ERA. His last start, he gave up 10 earned runs on 12 hits over 4 2/3 innings against the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's pretty bad, guys. That's pretty freaking bad. So we'll see if he can improve, but he's been so terrible in his last 3 starts. It's really tough to see that happening. Obviously, the Rockies' bullpen's atrocious, one of the worst 2 bullpens in the majors, and the offense has been relatively non-existent. 2-6-3, 2-6-5, and 1 over their last few games. They're 29th in the majors in runs scored. They are last in on-base percentage. This is a historically bad team. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Diamondbacks are minus 190. The Rockies are plus 155. We've got totals out there of 12 or 11.5. Arizona's 29 and 32 on the road, 29, 28, and 4 to the over on the road. The Rockies are 16 and 42 at home. That's an MLB worst mark at home. They're a 500 over-under team at home. Guys, I think this is an excellent, excellent spot to back the Diamondbacks. I'm going to be playing teams that are playing against the Rockies pretty often here down the stretch. And right now, if you take Arizona at minus 1.5, you can get them all the way up to all the way down to minus 125. That seems pretty appealing to me. I think the Diamondbacks definitely in great shape to win this game in a walk-away fashion. Next on the docket, we got the Los Angeles Angels headed to Sacramento to take on the Athletics. The Angels at 59 and 62 on the year, fresh off sweeping the Dodgers in a 3-game series. They are actually not out of it either. They're 5 games back in the American League wildcard race. So, yeah, a lot of teams have stayed much more competitive this season than you would have expected in the early goings. They'll hand the ball in this one to Yusei Kikuchi. He comes in this game 6-7 on the year, a 3.37 ERA. His last start was against Detroit, and he didn't have his best stuff, but they still won that game 7-4. Start for that, he dominated Tampa Bay. We'll see what he can do here against the Athletics. Obviously, a team that can be deceptively dominant at the plate, but he destroyed them back on June 9th, guys. 7 1/3 innings, 1 hit allowed in a 7-4 win. So, loving Kikuchi in this specific spot. The Angels' bullpen, on the other hand, has been pretty bad. One of the 3 or 4 worst bullpens in the majors, but the offense picking things up here, scoring 6, 7, and 7 against their crosstown rivals. So, hitting the ball pretty well, even if they're not a team that's hit the ball great this season. The Athletics just lost 2 out of 3 against the Tampa Bay Rays. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Jack Perkins, who comes into this game a 4.08 ERA. His last 2 outings have been starts, and they've been pretty rocky. 3 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs against Arizona. 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, and gave up a home run. That was an 11-3 win there at Camden Yards. So good stuff there against Baltimore. We'll see if he can do that against the Angels. Let's see what kind of history this guy's got. Oh, no history against the Angels. So we'll see what this young 25-year-old looks like in this specific spot. The Athletics bullpen's been even worse than the Angels, and their offense, it's been pretty good at different points. They're 13th in runs scored, 7th in batting average, but 2, 6, 4, 3, 11, 2, and 6 over their last few games is not the hottest hitting. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Angels are minus 110. The Athletics are minus 110. We've got a total of 10 in this game. The Angels, they're 26 and 32 on the road, 31, 25, and 2 to the over on the road. The Athletics, 24 and 36 at home, 29, 27, and 4 to the over at home. I'm definitely more into the under in this game than I am to the over. I think under 10 is very reasonable. In terms of a side, I do like the Angels at minus 110, but that underplay might actually be my favorite play under the assumption that we'll see Jack Perkins come out and have another good start. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the San Diego Padres heading to LA to take on the Dodgers. The Padres putting King back on the IL for his knee this time. That's not great news, but they've been playing great, winning their last 5 games in a row. They'll hand the ball in this one to someone to start the game. Unfortunately, we don't know who. If this happens to be a bullpen start for the Padres, though, they've been the best bullpen in the majors this year. A 2.97 bullpen ERA, dominant stuff. I hope it's a bullpen start, and if it is, the Padres at plus 118 could end up being our dog of the day. So you'll have to check on the pinned comment. But we also got to take a good hard look here at the Padres bats. I mean, 11, 5, 4, 6, and 5 over their last few games. Pretty hot hitting for a team that's 21st in runs scored, but 8th in the majors in on-base percentage. They're taking on a Dodgers team that is sliding aggressively. They're now 1 game back at the Padres because they've lost their last 4 in a row, getting swept there at the Angels. They'll hand the ball in this game to Clayton Kershaw. He's 6-2 on the year, a 3.14 ERA. His last time on the mound had to pitch out of a lot of trouble there against the Toronto Blue Jays, but made it happen, so congratulations to him. But What is he going to do here against the Padres? We'll have to wait and see. He hasn't faced the Padres this season, but I am a little bit worried about him in this specific spot. The Dodgers bullpen's been atrocious this year, so that's a huge concern every single night. And the offense, 5, 6, and 4 runs there in that series against the Angels isn't terrible, but Muncy dealing with a sore side. He's missing starts. I don't know. We'll see. Ohtani pitching in the fifth's great, but not enough to get them the win. We'll see. They are still the highest scoring team in the majors. Now, looking at the numbers, the Padres are plus 118. The Dodgers are minus 138, a total of 8.5 in this one. The Padres 31 and 32 on the road, 35, 26, and 2 to the under on the road. The Dodgers are 38 and 24 at home, 36, 24, and 2 to the over at home. I'm not interested in the total in this game, but I am definitely interested in the Padres here at plus 118. I got to find out who's officially starting this game for them, so it's not going in the pinned comment yet, but the Padres feeling like one of the better underdog spots of the day in this one. Last but not least, we're looking at the Tampa Bay Rays headed to San Francisco to take on the Giants. The Rays at 59 and 63 on the year have pretty much played themselves out of it. They're 5.5 games back, so we'll see. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Joe Boyle. He's 1-2 this season, a 3.82 ERA, but coming off a terrible start there against the Mariners. He's had his moments this year, but they've been kind of few and far between. The Rays bullpen looked great early in the season, but a 3.70 bullpen ERA is still reasonable. The offense, though, 8, 0, 7, 3, 4, and 2 over their last few games. They've got a lot of work to do. This team showed flashes of being maybe a top 5 offense. They haven't looked like that in quite some time now. So we'll see if they can turn it back around, but it hasn't looked great recently. They're going to take on a Giants team. The bottom's falling out. They lost 5 in a row. They're 59 and 62 on the year. They'll hand the ball to Landon Roop in this game. This 26-year-old is 7 and 6 on the year, a 3.11 ERA. With an elbow issue coming off the 15-day IL. The last time we saw him on the mound was against the Atlanta Braves back on July 22nd, and he was lights out in that start. We'll see what he looks like in this one. Elbow stuff, that's pretty scary stuff. The Giants' bullpen's been one of the best bullpens in the majors this year. That hasn't been a problem, but a huge problem has been their lack of offense. They've scored 1, 1, 1, and 0 runs over their last 4 games. Yeah, doesn't get much colder than that, guys. They're swinging some of the coldest bats in the game, so we'll see what they do in this one. The Rays are plus 110. The Giants are minus 130. A total of 8 in this game. Tampa Bay's 27 and 33 on the road, 32, 26, and 2 to the under on the road. The Giants, they are 29 and 31 at home, 36, 22, and 2 to the under at home. We'll see how this thing goes. I'm definitely going to be leaning a bit towards the Giants here at minus 130, though. Roop hasn't been my favorite pitcher for sure, but I like him better than Joe Boyle in this spot. I definitely like the Giants bullpen, so give me San Francisco to figure it out at home. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I appreciate everyone for watching these videos. You can click the link in the description to get over to stumpthespread.com. Get on our free email list over there. It's great value straight to your inbox every single day with tons of great information and free picks in there as well. Also, get over there to stumpthespread.com and check out the premium stuff. Coming off a massive 3-0 day. Feels pretty good. Could be the beginning of a nice long run like we saw in July. So hopefully that happens, guys. But either way, I'll see you here tomorrow. Same time, same place for more sports betting action.